Hey, welcome back for another episode of Something for the Culture. I am your host, Jazzy J, and tonight we have none other than one half of the Heatmakerz in here. Welcome to the culture.
How you doing? Nice. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. So, can you just let's start off with explaining who you are for those who don't know who you are.
All right. I'm a music producer who's produced for mainly for Dipset. As a group individually, I produce for Lil Wayne. I produce for uh, everybody from Beyonce to Fat Joe to Rick Ross to Two Chains to Gucci Man to everybody, man. I produce for so many people. Honestly, I forget, but everybody. I was actually looking at. I got plaques hung up in the room, and I was looking to see who I produced for. But
What can we see some of them plaques?
oh yeah, hold on.
Okay, now show out now.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can see, man, but
Yeah, we can. All
yeah.
right now. So let me ask you this. Some of the people that you mentioned, legends, by the way,
Right,
living legends.
right.
Um, let's start with Dipset. How did you get tied in with making beats for Dipset?
I I met I met this dude by the name of Renee McLean. He was managing Cam at the time, but I didn't know. We met up because I was working with some artists at the time, and he was supposed to help me get placements on the radio with him. So we
Mhm.
started talking. He was like, "Yo, what do you do?" I said, "I produce." He was like, "Yo, I manage Cam. Let me get some beats." I gave him a CD with about maybe 20 beats on there. You know what I mean? He gave that to Cam, and then they ended up picking 9 beats off of that CD and making it into Diplomatic Immunity, and then I made another two, and then we ended up doing about 11 on that project.
Did you think when you did the Dipset anthem, it was going to have the popularity
No,
that it had when you
no.
did it?
I mean, again, I didn't back then. I wasn't trying to make music to get on the radio. I wasn't trying to make music to be popular. I was just making music to just kind of feed the culture. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Right.
looking at it like I wanted to be rich or I wanted this song to make me famous. I still don't look at it like that. I always look at it like I'm adding something to the culture when I make something dope. You know what I mean? I don't really think about what it's gonna do numbers wise or sales wise. I just think about the Heatmaker fan will love this.
Hmm. So, whom or what inspired you to even start making beats and want to be part of the industry?
I mean, honestly, I never wanted to be a part of the industry because I feel like the industry itself is something different than what I'm a part of or what a lot of people are a part of. You know, some people are a part of the industry in the sense of they play the industry games, they do all the industry bullshit. I don't really associate, or I try not to associate with those type of people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've never wanted to be in the industry. I just wanted people to hear my music and love it. You know what I mean? And if that's what being in the industry is, then so be it. But I never looked at the side of, like I said, the numbers and
Right.
you having to sell this amount of copies to be successful. Or I never looked at it like that. I knew what I liked, and I tried to give it to the people, and in turn they loved it.
Right. So, what can you tell us what the creative process is? Like, what are you doing to prepare to do these beats? Like, where's your mind state at?
um I clear my mind and try to think as little as possible, man, because I just believe that overthinking is like the overthinking will lead you down like a dark street that you don't want to go down. You understand?
Hmm.
Like, and
Hmm.
making music is supposed to be a free will thing where you're not overthinking your next move or what you're gonna do or what you're gonna, like for me, I just know what I like because I sample a lot of stuff. So I'll listen to a bunch of samples. I'll know what I like, and I know what I can turn it into. And I
Hmm.
I don't think about the in between. I just know it's dope, and I can turn it into something doper. You know what I mean? So and then I just take it from there. I don't think about how I'm gonna get it from point A to point B. It just kind of happens. I've been doing it so long. It's like muscle memory.
Right. So you've mentioned other people that you work with. Okay, Beyonce. Can you just mention some of the songs for those who don't know that you worked on for her?
I did. Well, I only did one record for her. I did a record called Stop Sign. It was on a it was supposed to be, I forgot what album it was supposed to be on, but what happened was the record got leaked and it only got released internationally. But we definitely did a record called Stop Sign. If I'm not mistaken, it's on YouTube. You can check it out. It's a ballad called Stop Sign. It's not a typical Heatmaker record, but you know, we did it. It sounds dope.
So how did you prepare for that? How did that get all linked in with each other?
At the time, I had a friend of mine that wrote a song to that beat. It was like an R&B song, and I was trying to shop the song to different labels, and I brought it to Sony. And at the time, Solange was working on a project, and they told me they liked the beat, but they didn't necessarily like the song. So I gave them the beat. Solange wrote to it, but Solange wrote to it trying to sell it to I think it was Josh Stone. We were trying to sell the song to Josh Stone. But Beyonce referenced it. Solange wrote it and Beyonce referenced it. We gave it to Josh Stone, and I think Beyonce sang it so crazy that Josh Stone was like, "I can't sing it like this. You might as well let Beyonce have it." So she kept it for herself.
Wow. So what's a typical studio day with the Heatmakerz? Like what happens from A to Z and in between?
Um, Studio, I'm coming in. Most of the times, I'm not working right away. Like I'll watch a bunch of shit online. Like I'm a big boxing fan, so I might watch some boxing online. I might watch other random things online, and then throughout the day, it's like I'll hear things like different musical things in the background of things that I'm watching, and it'll kind of inspire me to start making music as the day goes on. You know what I mean? Or some days I come in and I'm just automatically inspired to work. So it depends. You know what I mean? But either way, I'm putting myself in a studio environment, so when I'm ready to work, I can just work.
Now, is that true that you've done a track for Ghostface? Because I heard you
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. I did a track called, and the crazy part is Ghostface just hit me, I want to say last week, right after his battle. He hit me and told me he needed some music. I sent him some music. So now we're in the process of doing some records together. But yeah, we did a record in the past called Ice. That was on the Bulletproof Wallets album.
So could this be a new Ghostface album you guys are working on?
I mean, who knows? It might lead to that.
Okay. Okay. So I noticed you said in the beginning of the interview that, you really just wanted to make music just for the culture. You never wanted to be famous.
Right.
So what do you think what does the culture mean to you?
Um, to me, what the culture means, I just honestly I feel like it's just almost like the sharing of energy. You know what I mean? Like I can appreciate what somebody else does without being able to do it myself. You understand? I think that's the problem now. I think a lot of producers and a lot of artists, if one artist has success off of it, they want to copy that blueprint as opposed to finding their own way to doing it. You know what I mean? And I think they're robbing the culture by doing it that way, because what makes certain artists dope is that the fact that they have their own signature style and they win and lose by that. You know what I mean? A lot of artists get in the game now and they're like, okay, this dude over here sold 10 million copies doing that. I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And that robs the culture. You know what I mean? I think the culture is about diversity and people being different. And a lot of that's been lost over the last like 10 years, I think.
Probably a
not
little
longer.
More. So, it's different when an artist in the industry says that, it has changed over time from a producer standpoint.
Right.
What are some of the negatives that you have noticed? And what are some of the positives that you have noticed being in the industry as long as you have?
The negatives are, like I said, plagiarism, like people just copying each other without any shame to it. I've noticed that for years though. You know what I mean? Positive, because of the internet, producers or artists who wouldn't have got noticed before are getting noticed now because they have their own platform to stand on. You don't have to rely on a label to put you out there no more, or you don't need a ton of money to put yourself out anymore. You just have to be like innovative and think of new things. You know what I'm saying? So that's a positive. But honestly, the stage I'm at in my career, there aren't too many negatives for me because I've kind of I've kind of written my own narrative over the years as far as like I'm to a point now where I can do what I want to do as opposed to have to rely on somebody else now to do it. You know what I mean? So it's different for me. Anything that's negative in my career is like I can erase it if I need to. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to work with artists I don't want to work with at all.
So, did you have anything to do with the track called, I believe it's End of the Road?
Jim Jones?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did that track. That was actually the first track I ever did for Jim. Was End of the Road. That's when people didn't even really believe in Jim as a solo artist. And he had to try to find beats from different producers and find a deal. You know what I mean? Look how crazy life is. You look at life now, and Jim is that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the game is crazy like that.
So I want to ask you, how do you feel that you personally and your beats have changed from the time you started up until now?
I mean, I'd be worried if it didn't change a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I grew up, I got older, I'm more mature. I look at music differently. I look at life differently. So the music I make is like a direct reflection of where I'm at in life. You know what I mean? When I made shit like Dipset Anthem, I needed money. I had no money in my pocket. That's why I sounded so aggressive, so angry. You know what I mean? Now it's like my music don't feel like that no more because I'm not in that same place. You know what I mean? But I feel like my music had to mature. If it didn't mature, I'd have to question what am I doing?
Right. So how was it? Because I mean, you got quite a few people that you have worked with, like CL Smooth. I heard you did some work.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
How did that come about?
You just reminded me about how did the CL Smooth thing come about? I think this was fresh off of the Diplomat album, and I think I just did some stuff with Cormega at this point, and MOP, and somehow I think CL might have reached out. There had to have been a gap. I mean, somebody bridged that gap. I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, they bridged the gap. We got together. I played him maybe like 3 records, and he recorded to 2 of them. We did one called Warm Outside and another one. I forgot what the other one was named, but yeah, that, you know, me and CL stayed cool for years. I haven't spoken to CL in a couple years, but cool dude, man. Every time we run into each other's love.
Like the list goes on. Like who else was there? I believe you did some work with J.R. Ryder, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Of course.
Who else? It's so like you have quite a few people.
There's a lot. That's why when you ask me, I get stuck because it's a lot of people. Like I've worked with not just New York artists. Like I've worked with Southern artists from, like I said, like T.I., Ludacris, Gucci Mane, 2 Chainz. You know what I mean? Like I've worked with a bunch of people because it's like high school. When you get into high school, you get cool with the freshmen, the sophomores, whatever. As you get older, you know everybody in the school because you've been there so long. That's kind of what it is for me. I knew 2 Chainz when he was Titty Boy. You understand? Part of Player Circle. And I was working with him from then. So now we keep in contact and we still do music. So it's just a friendship type of thing. You know what I mean? A lot of these artists that I work with, from like Fat Joe to Jim to Cam to Jewels, we're friends outside of music. You know what I mean? Like, those are my friends, so it makes it easier to do music with them.
So we know most of the rappers that you have worked with. What about some of, and with the exception of Beyonce, what about more of the R&B? Who have you worked with that we don't know about?
R&B, I haven't really done a bunch of R&B, to be honest with you. Like from Beyonce was one, a girl by the name of Brooke Valentine. I did something for her early on in her career. I did something for Brooke Valentine. Me and Music Soul Child were supposed to actually, you know, rest in peace to Fred the Godson. Me, Music Soul Child, and Fred the Godson was supposed to do a project together. But it never came to fruition. But we were supposed to do a project, and yeah, just like I've done some stuff with PNB Rock a couple years ago, like maybe I want to say about 5 years ago. But yeah, just, you know, R&B was not really like something that I dove into like that, but if it came about, I did it. So I don't really got too many R&B records under my belt like that. None that really matter like that, to be honest with you.
Would you ever thinking about crossing over from not just rap and R&B, but like, what about if a pop star wanted to?
But you know, we gotta meet somewhere. There has to be a happy medium. You know what I mean? Because I'm never gonna step I'm never gonna step too far out of what I do because I feel like I don't want the sound not to be recognized.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I work years for people to understand what my sound sounds like. So I don't want to just abandon it because a pop artist wants me to work with them and they want to strip me of my sound to do that. It wouldn't make sense for me.
So speaking of, you wanted people to know, who you are through your sound.
Right.
What would you describe your sound?
My sound is aggressive soul music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like soul music with a little oomph to it.
Okay, now.
Because soul music is supposed to make put you at ease, make you feel relaxed, probably make you think. But my
Mm-hmm.
music has more of a sense of urgency to it.
Okay.
Because you listen to Dipset Anthem, you listen to I mean, even though my music has matured since then, I still
Mm-hmm.
have that aggression that's attached to my music. I think
Like
you know
that
what I'm
little
saying?
edge.
Right, right.
Okay. So what's the best advice you have been given as a producer?
Um, my homeboy Todd Terry told me one time, he was like, things change for you overnight, literally, without you knowing. And when he told me, I didn't understand it because I'm a young producer at the time. I'm not really making money like that off of music. And when money started to come in and notoriety started to come in and certain things started to happen, it made sense to me what he said. Like, I didn't see these changes. It's like you wake up to people treating you different, to
Mm-hmm.
your bank account looking different, to you being able to do things you couldn't do before. It just literally happens for you. It feels like overnight. You know what I mean? Whether it is
Mm-hmm.
or it's not, that's what it feels like. So that statement just rang true with me over the years. It's like, and it goes the flip way too. You know what I mean? Like you can have shit and wake up the next morning and it's gone because you didn't nurture it right. So
Right.
that statement just always stayed with me that things change literally overnight.
So with that being said, because we like to, you know, educate the younger generation artists that are coming up, producers, singers, and all of that. From a business standpoint,
Right.
what would you say, coming from a producer's perspective and someone trying to be in your position,
Hmm.
what kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say don't do it for the money at first because you chasing the money's gonna run as fast as it can away from you. You understand? Like perfect your craft, learn what you're doing, get really good at what you do, get great at what you do, and the money will just fall in your lap. Trust me. You know what I mean? Like people think that you have to chase the money. Like yo, I'm chasing that bag. When you're talented, you don't got to chase the bag.
True.
The bag waits on you, and you just get there and pick it up. You understand? Like that's what talent does for you. That's what dedication and hard work does for you, and repetition and doing things day after day, even when you're not getting paid for it.
Hmm.
When you do that, you make yourself better, and then the money comes to you. You understand? Like chasing the money never works ever, and
Right.
and sooner or later you get tired of chasing the money because then you lose focus of what you're really supposed to be focused on, which is your craft. You know what I mean? Your work.
That's dope advice. Very dope. So, what is the best advice you have given someone in the industry?
Um, Learn how to use your anger as a positive thing. Like learn how to turn your anger into focus and discipline.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I think we all get angry. No matter what industry you're in, it's gonna piss you off at some point. Like, okay, you're doing interviews. Somebody's gonna cancel an interview with you last minute. It's gonna piss you off because you had it set up all day. But now
Right.
you gotta learn how to turn that anger into something more meaningful, something more positive, you know what I mean? So you can actually get through your day and accomplish things. You know
Right.
what I mean? I think a lot of people just get angry and stay angry
Hmm.
and ruin the rest of their day, ruin the rest of their week, and don't accomplish nothing. Like I've learned how to, me personally, I've learned how to turn that anger into, it's like fuel. You know, it turns into discipline for me. It
Hmm.
turns into dedication for me. It turns into other things other than something bad. You know what I mean? And I think the person I've given people advice to learn how to use that anger, man, because that anger can fester and fuck up your career, or
Hmm.
it can make it into something beautiful. So it's just learn how to use the anger that the industry is going to give you on a daily basis, whatever industry you're in.
I also want to ask you about because this is another topic that kind of comes up dealing with music, artistry, and everything in between. professionalism.
Right.
How important is professionalism doing what you have been doing for all these years?
I mean, for me, it's super important because, you know, like, I'm working with artists, all different types of artists, males, females, people from that are from here, people that aren't from here. And I just think like that's almost like your professionalism is like your business card. You understand? Like when people leave, they be like, yo, I like fucking with that dude. He's cool. He did what he said he was gonna do on time. He did X, Y, and Z. You should fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's your business card. Some people, they don't know how to be professional and it fucks up their business. But I think over time you realize that you treat people with the same energy you want to get back in return. You understand? Like I might work with artists that got millions of dollars. I might work with artists that don't have any money, but I'm gonna treat them both the same because, again, everything happens. Things happen overnight.
Yep.
You never know that artist that got millions could have zero tomorrow. The artist that got zero could have millions tomorrow.
Right.
So why would I treat them any different? You understand? Like we're one day away from either being up here or down here. Once you understand that, you treat people accordingly.
So I want to know when you're, producing, y'all in the studio in the heat of everything, the mix, and y'all creative process bubble. How do you know at the time, or not? How do you know? Do you feel at the time that hey, this gonna be some shit right here? This
A million percent. You just know you've been doing it so long. You kind of know that feeling that comes over you when you got one. You know what I mean? No matter what you do, if you've been doing something so long, you just know when something is something.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it to you. That shit is a feeling that to this day is indescribable, but I know the feeling when it hits me.
Cool. So you've already described to us what the culture means to you. Can you tell us what the culture should mean to upcoming artists and upcoming producers coming in?
I don't think I can tell them that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like whatever interpretation they have of it, that's them. You know what I mean? I can't force them to see the industry or the culture through my eyes. You know what I mean? So with them, it's like whatever it means to you, just hold true to that and make music for that reason. You understand? But don't run around out here like the culture don't exist and you don't abide by any rules when it comes to the culture. You know what I mean? Like don't go do some weird shit that fucks up something that we all built for years.
Right.
Like don't do that. That's what I'm saying. But if you have a different outlook on the culture, there's nothing wrong with that.
So I want you to answer this. Who is somebody that you have not worked with? Doesn't matter what genre of music they are in, that you would love to work with?
There's a couple people.
Give me your top three.
Jeezy, Eminem, and 50 Cent.
Okay. So all three different very men. Why did you pick those three?
Because I just feel like I'm a fan of all three, and I just feel like musically I can add something to what they do. You're like I'm fans of a lot of people, but if I don't feel like musically I can add to what you do, I wouldn't even want to make music with you. I just want to be a fan at that point. But I'm a fan of these three people, and I know I can add something to what they do musically.
Okay. I can see that. So let us know what you're currently working on.
Well, I just put out a project on St. Patrick's Day with OT the Real, called The Irishman. I got a project that I was working on with Fred before he passed called Contraband 3 that should be coming out April 23rd, the day that he passed.
Okay.
I got a record on Ross' new album coming out. I forgot the name of his album, but I got a record on there. I just did a record with 2 Chainz the other day. Me and Cam. I did some stuff on Cam's new project. I think this is going to be the program 2 that he's doing. But I did a couple records on that. Me and Joel's been putting records together. Me and Currency got a project that we did. We just got to pick a date to put it out. It's finished already. So yeah, I'm working. I'm just staying busy. Yeah, I'm just staying busy.
So, there's been talks about this Dipset reunion.
Shit,
are you gonna be a part of that?
I mean, if it happens, of course. Well,
okay.
Why wouldn't I? I mean, I'm about to say, if you know something, let me know.
We trying to get on the inside. We trying to figure it out.
I thought you might have knew something. I'm about to ask.
I mean, you know, they've been talking about this little reunion for a while, but we ain't seen nothing shake yet. We waiting for it.
I'm waiting for it too.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here for it whenever it happens.
Right, we all here for it. So I want to ask you this too. Well, two more things. If you could change one thing in the industry, just one thing that kind of just like pisses you off, what would it be and why?
I might be the wrong dude. I'm a miserable guy, man. When it comes to certain shit, so it's like little shit pisses me off. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, something that really like just taps on your nerve to you, like, you know what?
I hate fronting. Mm-hmm. I hate when people front with like. It's good to have nice shit, like have jewelry, have money. It's nice to have all of that. But you don't gotta lay out every dollar you have on the table. You don't have, like, this is certain shit. Like, if you got money, just have money.
Right.
Like, what happened to the days where you just had money? You didn't have to show everybody the money you had. Like, it's cool to just have bread and not tell nobody. I think that's better to me. I'd rather that. Yeah. I'd rather people think I don't have a dime. I like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, so when I see people show off like a shitload of money, not because jealousy or nothing, it just seems corny to me. Like, why would you do that? Yeah. If you have money, just have money. People will be able to tell you have money if you just got money.
That's true. That is true. But you know what? I found those ones that showboat and do all of that, those are the ones whose money goes faster than anything.
No, of course. And listen, I'm not wishing bad. I wish they keep their money till the day that they die, like get millions and more millions. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to. There are people in the world that don't have nothing.
Right.
You understand? So like, and I'm not saying you're supposed to be humble for them. What I'm saying is have some sort of conscience that's like, you're blessed. Just be blessed. You don't have to flaunt your blessings.
Right.
Because there's people that don't have anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I look at little shit like that. But again, if you have your shit, enjoy it. But you don't have to flash it in the face of people who might not have shit.
Right. I agree. So this last one, I ask everyone this, and I'm gonna ask you as well. You know, tomorrow is never promised to us. You know, we never know when we're going to leave this earth. So with that being said, what would you like your fans, friends, family, etc., to know about your legacy once you leave this earth?
I want them to know that my legacy meant something to me when I was here. Like, I wasn't one of those people that just made frivolous moves and didn't care about how people were going to view me. You understand? Like, my legacy still means something to me. And when I'm gone, I want them to know that it meant something to me. So I try to make calculated moves to keep my legacy on a certain level. You understand? Like, I didn't just make foolish moves and work with people that had no talent and just sold out for the money. I didn't do that. You understand? And I want people to understand that when I'm gone and I'm not here, and they listen back to my music.
I know that's right. So I'm gonna let you take this time to give out any shout outs to anybody you want to give out to, friends, family, anything between.
Just to the whoever supports me. You know, I fuck with y'all. Thank you for all the love all over the years. I appreciate it. And that's about it, man. My friends and family know who they are, so I'm gonna shout out everybody. But to anybody that supported Heatmakerz, I fuck with y'all 1,000,000%.
All right. Any social media links that we should be looking for?
Yeah, official Heatmakerz with a Z on that's for IG, and I'm mainly on Instagram. So official Heatmakerz.
Dope. Well, it was an honor having you grace the Culture's platform, and we want to welcome you back, of course, especially since you're getting ready to drop that Fred the Godson track.
Oh, so, yeah, 1,000,000%. We gotta promote that.
Definitely. But once again, it was a pleasure. We thank you for taking your time out your busy schedule. And you guys, will see you April 1st, and we'll have Bill Dukes as a guest. So I'm Jazzy J. This has been Sign for the Culture, and we are out. And have a good night.